Hello and welcome to This is a Radio Show. I'm Alicia Grace.
I'm Jenna Lee.
And I am Brittany Ann.
And this is a radio show.
And this is a radio show. Ba-da-da-da-da. For copyright reasons, I had to change the note on that.
If this is your first time tuning in, we would love it if you also joined us in the Discord chat and just say hi and let us know you're here. We will be taking questions in the Discord chat as always and answering them live on air. The link can be found on linktree.com/thisisperfectharmony. It can be found in our Instagram bio or on any recent Facebook post. Really just look up This is Perfect Harmony and you will find what you're looking for. We haven't quite gotten around to posting the last 2 episodes on YouTube with Squid and Psilocybin, but we'll be dropping them soon alongside this week's episode on YouTube. Yeah, it's crazy being down a team member for a week. That, you know,
it was hard.
It was hard being away.
I know. I was missing you.
I love that, like, your first, one of your first messages back to me was just like, I can't wait to, like, get together and get started again. Like, that was your first thing.
I truly missed working on all our stuff while I was gone. That was probably, but that and not seeing my cat.
2 hardest things.
Oh my god, always.
I get it.
Always.
Always the cat. Dude, I leave the house and I miss Peel.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm grocery shopping and I'm like, oh, the babies. I hope they're fine.
Can't wait to get home and kiss them on their stupid little heads.
I started this new thing where I grab Bus's face, I like kiss him on the lips, and he just goes like, like shakes his head back. Like I think a child would.
He's a rough lover though, so he needs to accept the rough love.
Exactly.
He is.
Well, our original guest for this week, the Green Team Coordinator for Base Rim Pines, Tashi, was unable to make it. So we'll be chatting with them at the festival in 3 short weeks. But if you are interested in volunteering with the Green Team, please don't hesitate to reach out to Base Rim Pines. I think this is a program they're really expanding on this year. It's a great way to get involved and volunteer and make a difference. That'll truly last longer than just the festival. So we will still be chatting with them, but that will be further down the road. Instead, this week, I am chatting about my experience working with Electric Forest Radio. Yeah, I was a part of their plug-in program. And I've been
so cool.
It was amazing.
So proud.
Thank you. And I've been working really hard not to tell Jenna and Brittany about it.
I've been really trying hard not to ask.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been awful. I've like started so many stories and then like never
and then be like,
mind.
wait, we have the radio show.
So all of you will kind of be hearing this for the first time as they're hearing it, as well as probably one of the first few times I'm like reflecting on it too with people who are, really. I mean, people who are not only interested in what I did, but like a part of what I did. Because really this wasn't just, it didn't feel like just me going to do this. Like I had this opportunity to do this because we all worked so hard and like we do this together.
We did it for all of us.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's going to be really cool to share with you all about it here on air. So,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Where do we begin?
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. So
Wednesday, 9 a.m.
Well,
we just go through the whole timeline.
Where were you Wednesday at 9 a.m.?
I was very hungover in a car leaving Chicago in stop-and-go traffic with a stick shift.
Oh, that is the fucking worst when you do the, like, pre-game.
Oh,
and then you're on the way.
Last year, did that.
And it was cool because I got to go visit a lot of my old haunts in Chicago and see a lot of my old friends and stuff. But I worked at a cidery, so I was drinking very sugary drinks and taking shots of Malort. And yeah, we did not feel good that next morning. But, we made it. But I do think what we should start out with is what is EF Radio?
Yeah, explain that to us.
So there's a couple different forms that Electric Forest Radio takes on. First, it's a 24/7 internet radio station where you can listen to interviews, recorded sets from the past years, And other like little things here and there. They've used it in the past to like announce the lineup, which was really cool.
That was cool.
Uh,
I like that.
I remember
feature.
that. Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's also during the festival, you can tune in to actual FM radio and listen to it if you're in the area or on the campgrounds. And at one point, I did hear somebody who was walking through the campgrounds with a cart and a speaker in it playing EF radio. And I thought that was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so, I just ended up catching them, like, this is EF radio. And I was like, I'm on EF.
Taking a break.
And then the third aspect of it is they do have a podcast where they basically have recordings that you can choose to when you listen to it. So you can find some of those same interviews and live sets and stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually checked right before we went live. They have already uploaded Dixon Violin's closing set from this Sunday at Electric Forest.
Really?
Yeah. So
They work fast.
yeah, they do, and they do a lot. And I think EF Radio. So it started, I think, in 2015, and I think it's just like gaining traction. Like I think a little bit each year, people are becoming more aware of it. They're getting more of a budget. They're getting more of a presence there.
Yeah.
And this was like the first year that they were part of the plug-in program, which is how I got accepted to it. So myself and 3 others were basically interns for EF Radio this past weekend, which was really cool because plug-in programs themselves are a big part of Electric Forest. Like it's everything from the art installations, the performers, chapel parties, things like that.
Yeah, the creatures that walk around. and,
Yeah.
like,
So it's really cool to
it's
like
far and wide.
be a part of that.
So
like
crazy. It's
Yeah.
so like well deserved. Like you've been going for so long and you're amazing on the radio, so I'm just excited to see where this continues to go.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. It I don't know. I just like when I applied for it. Like really, all they wanted was links to my socials, a short bio, and my short bio was. I've been every year since 2014, and I have a little radio show. Like that was basically it, and then links to everything we've done, and that worked. That was it.
Which is
That
cool
worked.
because that means they probably looked into it a little bit
Yeah.
too, which is like,
Yeah, so they picked their people based off of who just kind of had like an outgoing social media presence. So myself and one of the other participants had a podcast, and the other 2 were just kind of like creative theater, outspoken type people.
Influencer.
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
lots of views.
well, I don't even know like if it was like really view based as much as it was like you represent what we're
Right.
trying to like bring into this. So
Okay.
yeah, that was really cool. That was like so I got to meet all them, and EF Radio is ran by Clayton and Kent, and they actually are like just like us. They were like big fans of Electric Forest and like met the right people and were like, please can we do a radio station? Please can we do a radio station? And now run EF Radio. Like, I don't know, it's just that within itself is so inspirational because it's like,
Dude, your dreams are attainable.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, that's kind of just like an overview of it, and that's really, I mean, I knew even less than that going into this. So
Yeah, because it was the first year they were in the plug-in program.
yes,
Correct. And so like, what was kind of like the setup? Did they have a booth inside? Did they have a booth inside last year?
yes, they
as
did.
well? Okay.
So the booth is between Tripoli and Ranch Arena.
Okay.
As you're like walking, it's on the right side. One of the last few booths before you start to get to like the drink and food vendors. And I remember seeing it last year because last year was the first year they had a booth.
Oh yeah.
And I walked by, every single time I walked by that booth, I stuck my head in there because I was like, what is going on here? How do I get involved? I never saw anybody. I like snagged a couple stickers, but like that was it. So this year, their staff, what they did was, I mean, their staff did kind of the same thing that we did. collecting interviews and stuff, but one of them was like really stationed at the booth. So anytime someone came up and was like, oh, like, I love EF radio, or, oh, like, what's this? They're like, hey, do you want to, like, be on the radio? We'll record a soundbite, and this is everything you have to do. So it was definitely a step up, and I think next year is going to be, like, even bigger.
Even more, yeah.
Yeah, so it was basically like a booth with just some, like, chairs and chill stuff, and then behind it was an RV that was set up as, like, our studio. So that's where, like, the AC was.
I bet that was so fucking
The
nice.
AC perks alone.
Oh, it was
like,
wonderful.
It was amazing.
Because it was hot and dry the first, like, 3 days, 4 days of this event.
Yeah, and then it stormed, of course.
And then it stormed. Sunday was something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so they're in the RV. They, like, were streaming from there. They, like, you do interviews in there. That's kind of, like,
Got it.
the hub, basically. Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it was
Keep it
kind of
quiet.
cool. They had, like, the transmitter back there and all this different stuff. And
Cool.
Hell yeah.
It's so, like, official and, like, professional. It's so cool.
it felt official.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So I get there on Wednesday, and my only thing I knew about EF radio at this point was that I needed to text Kent and let him know I made it safely. So I get set up, and
That's sweet.
Yeah, I message Kent, and I'm like, hey, I made it here safe. He's like, oh, good to hear. Enjoy your evening. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'm like, what am I doing tomorrow? Like, what is happening? And I kind of decided at that point, I was like, there's no need to be stressed or anxious about this program because, like, I think the reason I don't know anything is because there's nothing to know. Like, it's just, not a free-for-all, but, like, a lot of, like, creative freedom. So,
You're all in it together, too. Like,
exactly.
And you were able to, like, you each brought an idea with that you wanted to kind of focus on, correct?
Yeah. So, like, I don't know how much the other people had, like, truly thought out what they wanted to do, but of course I was, like, shooting emails before the fest, like, hey, I had this idea, but I think the people who, like, manage, like, communicate with the plug-in program people aren't radio teams, so they're like, that's a great thing to tell Kent, and I was like, how do I get in contact with Kent?
who's Kent? No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, so Wednesday I actually set up camp, almost had a nervous breakdown. But then I got to listen to our radio show from the campgrounds, and I was like so surprised it came in.
I know. When
That
you
made
said
me
you were listening, I was like,
That made me so happy, seriously.
yeah.
I like laid on a yoga mat under my canopy and like turned it up really loud so everybody else could listen. I don't know if they wanted to or not. And then I just like
they did.
I cackled the whole time. Like I was like laughing so loud and like commenting out loud to absolutely nobody. And then like typing it in the Discord. So I don't know. It felt very full circle. Like that alone was just like, y'all are doing this. Y'all killed it on that episode, and I'm like doing my thing as well. So
I'm glad that we could like provide some relief,
it
like
truly was
to send you into this.
Yeah.
While we're building this thing up, and like, you know, one day maybe we'll be running EF radio.
Oh my god, that would be wild.
Or just helping very hands-on. We're not trying to take it out of your hands, Kenton Clayton. Sorry.
Absolutely. Didn't mean it that way.
Maybe we could have our own, like, do this at a different festival. Like, do what they're doing.
We already do this at a different festival.
I know, but I mean, like...
Speaking of, Base Ribbon Pine still has tickets for sale.
I mean, like, you know...
No.
Well, when Base Ribbon gets big.
It will.
You know, I actually got to talk about Base Ribbon Pines quite a bit because, like, that is my other festival radio experience. And I'll talk more about the people I got to talk to a little bit later on, but I was able to tell someone pretty high up about it, and she was like, what? An EDM disc golf festival? That's insane! Like, she thought it was so cool, and I was just like, yeah, that's our local scene. That's our local scene.
I swear, disc golf and EDM go hand in hand. Like, all of those people, like, so many people in the community go disc golfing.
They do.
I've tried. But it's nobody.
I have no hand-eye coordination.
Nobody wants me on there. Yeah, I like go like this, and it just goes into a tree. Like,
Howie.
Yeah, I just like walking around talking and drinking beer, which is only 3/4 of disc golf. So.
Yeah. Kind of like regular
Yeah.
golfing. It's like I like driving the golf cart around
Yeah.
and drinking.
Yep.
Woo!
You can't blare dubstep when you're regular golfing, though.
No, yeah, exactly. They
It's
have,
a
they
quiet
have their own
game.
thing.
Golfing's
Yeah.
still fun, though. Riding the golf cart, that's fun.
Just not golfing itself.
One time, I know it.
No, I want to hear this.
One time, I single-handedly was responsible for driving a golf cart into a ravine.
That happened to me.
You also?
I wasn't the driver, but I was in it when it happened.
Yeah. We all went.
Yeah,
We went down. Well, I grabbed the steering wheel because I wanted to turn it because it was a weird golf cart, and yeah, and then we went. Boop.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had leeches on me. That was fun.
Ooh.
It was not like it was like a crick ravine kind of thing, and we went under. Yeah, it was bad. Walking up the driveway, just like crying, all muddy.
How old were you?
I want to say like 8 or 9, 10 maybe.
I was like at least 12.
I was with my sister's husband's nieces. So like my step cousins, once removed or something like that.
I
don't know how
Got
I
it.
cannot
Anyway.
understand that stuff. At all.
Anyway, back to golf carts and Base Ribbon Pines. Back to EF. Forests.
Oh my god, you know what would be
Forests.
fun? Driving a golf cart around Base Ribbon and like doing our radio. Or, like,
Oh.
I don't know.
Going out and getting interviews.
interviews on the golf cart. Like, I don't know, that'd be fun.
That would be cool, and that's similarly. I wasn't in a golf cart, but that's kind of what I did at EF Radio. Is like in the field interviews
Yeah.
that are recorded that will then be taken and played out on EF Radio throughout the year. Like we could do that. We
Yeah.
could very well do that. Jenna, put that in our Base Ribbon Pines notes.
And like, I know the golf cart isn't necessary, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyone has a golf cart, people are like, ooh, golf cart.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Must be official.
Yeah. Carry some waters on there, like some snacks.
Snacks.
Hydrate our disc golfers.
Uh,
That's how I play a part in disc golfing.
I have a couple ideas that cannot be spoken on the radio.
Fair. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, I messaged Kent again. I'm like, well, what time do you want to see me? He's like, oh, I think we'll get everybody together about 5. So I go to the booth. Let me tell you all this. As someone who is chronically late to everything, I was early to everything for EF Radio.
Really?
I was so excited for and this is at a festival too.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I was just
definitely.
like, hello, hi, I'm here. Like
I'm here to
First day
work.
of school.
yeah.
First day of school.
Want my fruit up.
Mom, I forgot. I find out.
So I, went and like got to meet the staff. I got to meet the other plug-in program people, and they kind of just like overviewed for us like what they expected, which was you're free to do as you wish. So I knew what I wanted to do, and this is probably the most Alicia thing I said all weekend. I was like, I know I want to talk about Her Forest, which is a plug-in program that's supposed to uplift women and femme-identifying people who attend the festival and giving them like a sense of belonging. And they have like meetups and panels and circles and a camp and all this different stuff. And I was like, I want to cover Her Forest, but I don't want to be pigeonholed into covering women. And I had like rehearsed that in my head so many times, and when I said it, I was just like, these people are all too nice. Nobody was going to pigeonhole me into covering women.
Aww.
But like, and they didn't. So they kind of gave us some of their ideas
Yeah.
that they were thinking, and everybody else kind of spitballed theirs. And so what I ended up deciding that my thing was going to be was specifically Her Forest. But I also was going to seek out interviews with 10 in the Forest people. Because there was a lot done for those folks this year. And I happened to be camped with one of the 10 in the Forest people, our friend Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I wasn't camped with him, but like, we, have in the past and stuff. So, and then on the giving culture, because so many people give gifts at Electric Forest and bring trinkets and candy.
Culture.
And there's the giving tree and the
Price
fairy
cart.
doors. Price cart. So yeah, so I kind of like, so I had like a field recorder, and I like was gonna collect interviews, kind of like under those three things, but with my like emphasis specifically being on like her forest and things. And then I also got to meet, so one of the girls I had on staff, Jess, has a YouTube show called Living by the F Word, and she covers all her favorite things that start with the letter F. And I got to spend a lot of time connecting with her.
That's so cool.
I was super inspired by her all weekend. Like, she just like, she was like a mini celebrity. Like, people like knew who she was. And they were coming up to the booth all weekend like, are you living by the F word? And she was like, yeah. She said that last year only one person recognized her. And I swear every time I was with her, like 3 people came up.
Whoa.
It was really,
It just
really
goes
cool.
to show how quick you can blow up. Like, that's inspiring.
Yeah. And then, like, through her, I also met some other, like, vloggers and people who are, like, doing this stuff on their own at Electric Forest, which we've done in the past. We've brought the camera, we've done our interviews there, kind of renegade style. But, like, honestly, it was, like, in that moment that it hit me, I was like, there's people that are out here, like, on their own, like, free will doing this, and I'm doing it for Electric Forest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing this, like, on their behalf. Like, that's just
Right.
Like,
It's-
we worked so hard for this.
It's a big deal.
It's
a big
really
deal.
huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of like, that was day one. I really didn't do much day one besides, like, actually understand what was going on and, like, meet everybody and see Odessa.
Aww.
What a good day. You're
Yeah.
prepping, getting to know everyone, and then Odessa.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What an amazing way
Yeah.
to
Who else did
end the night.
Who else did I see on day one? I can't even remember, but Odessa was really good as always. They did an acoustic version of gravity can't hold us down. Higher Ground.
Oh, yeah.
Chills.
I would have cried.
Oh.
I mean, I already cried at Odessa, but I
It
would
was
have cried.
so beautiful. Yeah, and they had like the drummers, a
amazing.
trumpet player, like, or maybe it was a saxophone player. I don't know. There's a horn player.
Yeah.
But it was really good. That was probably like the biggest set I caught of the weekend. But it was so phenomenal, as Odessa always is. And like, there was a point though I was like really tired of the crowd because like day one the crowd has a bunch of energy. Like, I think that entire festival was there to see Odessa.
Yeah.
And
Probably.
and I like went to the back at one point and I got like a bowl of vegan curry and I just like sat and ate it, like watched all the colorful like party sticks going up and down and like
That's a sight to see.
it really was. I
can
can
picture
chills
it.
just like
That's one of my favorite things to do at a festival, especially at this point in my life, is to like get all the food and like even just be in the crowd and
people
be
watch.
eating and like, I don't know,
Just
it's a
chilling.
vibe.
Chilling.
I think I spent more money on food and drinks this year than I ever have. But it was like because of that, it's like I wasn't partying as hard.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I just wanted to chill, you know, and like there was some pretty darn good food there. It's expensive, but
Right.
like
But to try everything and like, yeah, we're getting to that point where we don't really like. And you were there for a different purpose.
yeah, exactly.
You know, like usually day one is just like get fucked up. Unless you're me last year, take a nap.
I was so ornery when I got there and set up. I was like thinking about how ornery you were the year before. I
so mad.
was like, where's somebody to bring me a bowl of food and tell me to be okay? Like,
you so much.
The radio show was your bowl of food.
it really was.
Next year, I'll bring you a bowl of food.
Thank you. And I will try not to be ornery.
I won't not sleep the night before.
Do you think, do you know any of the plans of next year with EF Radio? Like, did they say anything about that?
They did. They talked a little bit about building out the booth space to be a little bit more of like a set up interview space. Like,
Okay.
Maybe having like an on-air sign. So I don't think it's like super solid.
Yeah.
But it was very like they want it to be something where people can walk up and see that they can be a part of the radio.
Yeah.
So.
But, like, do they plan, like, do they plan to have you back? Are they going to put out, another similar thing where people, like, apply?
I hope so.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like the program was a success.
Yeah.
But, like, I also, like, am very confident that I destroyed it, you know?
Which is,
in the
I mean,
best
that's
way.
good, though.
So, yeah, I hope they bring it back. I would love to be invited back next year as staff. Like, that would just be, like, that would be, like, why I jumped through all the hoops to make it this year.
Yeah.
Because it was not easy getting there this year. Like,
No.
I only had a month to plan. Like, my, ride or dies weren't there, which was, like, an emotional experience within itself. Like, I've been so broke because I've just been working odd jobs, like, my full-time gig hasn't started yet. And it was just, like, and then with what happened at the Gorge the weekend before, I was like,
It's nerve-wracking.
yeah, I was like, I just shouldn't go to Electric Forest. I just shouldn't do it. Like, I'm trying too hard to get here.
So valid. I would have,
Yeah.
you were super brave with that. Like, it would have taken even more for me, I feel like with my anxiety regarding that. But I'm so glad you went.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you were safe.
Me too.
Did you feel safe, like, in general when
I
you were
did.
there? Good.
So a couple years ago, Electric Forest did implement metal detectors going into the venue.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think they're I think metal detectors are just getting better and better.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you could walk through, with your fanny pack on and not set it off. And, because obviously I didn't have anything, like, metal or gun-like in my fanny pack. It was, like, like a granola bar, a joint, and,
Things
like...
you can fit into
a fanny
earplugs.
pack. Yeah, earplugs, Narcan,
No room for a gun.
No room.
Alicia pulling out the world.
Vibes. I love vibes in that fanny pack. So it was just like, that was really cool that they have that. And then, like, if you did set off, they, like, wand you down and everything. I did notice more dogs there. I don't think I've ever seen a gun sniffing dog. I don't think I've ever seen one there. And I saw quite a few, especially in the beginning. So
That makes sense because of what
They're
happened.
dogs are supposed to be trained for that stuff too, though, like, and drugs. Like, was that their first time bringing dogs in general?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, they would only bring dogs in, like, if they found something.
Yeah.
Like, that one year that we
Interesting.
were volunteering, they thought they found something on a car, and they brought
a dog
in.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, did they end up finding weapons, or was it, I don't know.
I don't recall.
I can't remember.
I remember them thinking they found a gun with a bunch of substance. But I don't and I remember them, like, stopping the car, not letting it go any further, but I don't remember what the outcome was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I felt good at Forest this year. What I will say, though, that when I first started going to Forest in 2014, they had police officers riding around on horses through the campgrounds. And I really wish they would bring back horseback security. It doesn't have to be cops, preferably not cops.
Right.
But I did enjoy having someone going up and down, because if you needed anything, you just, hey. They do have ground control, and they did put, like, slips of paper on everybody's car. And it's like, if you need this, call this number. If you need this, call this number.
Oh, that's
This
nice.
is how to describe where you are. So it's like, they made effort. And, they always do make some effort. But I think what we need to also recognize is that while Electric Forest is an Insomniac event, it's not just an Insomniac event. It's an AEG event, too. And AEG does a lot of the work. So it's like, I think the Insomniac events that we're upset with and that we are, like, discouraged by are primarily Insomniac ran events.
Yeah.
And this is, like, a collaboration event. So,
a little different.
Yeah. And I mean, we even see it, like, in the vibes at Electric Forest compared to, like,
Totally.
EDC and stuff like
Coachella,
that. So,
etc.
yeah, so, like, I felt good. I felt good. I saw, like, I didn't see anybody struggling this year, like, due to heat or substance. Where I feel like every year in the
really
past,
good.
I've seen at least one person that made me be like, oh, I can't be here, or, oh, move out of the way in the crowd, this person needs through. So I don't know if that's just, and Bunk Police was there, and, like, very obviously set up. In the past, they've been shut down. So it's just like I think there's like a culture shift happening too.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool.
That makes me really happy. I've thought about that for
really
a
nice.
while too, just like, and I obviously our minds don't want to go there, right? With like what's happening in the United States with like mass shootings and stuff, we don't want to think about that happening at festivals until it does.
Yeah.
And it's just like for a while now I've been like thinking like I'm so sick of walking in so freely to festivals.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit about drugs, like I really don't. But I would also appreciate if cops, security, whatever, were there just for the safety.
Yeah.
That's it. Like checking
Yeah.
for guns, checking for whatever, you know, like we need more of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm at a point, pat me down, like
Yeah, I don't care.
tear apart my bag.
Yeah.
Like, I know Bonnaroo, you needed a clear bag to get through.
Really?
Yeah, and they also sent out clear fanny packs with the tickets.
Oh, nice.
I remember Somerset doing that. I think their last year or something
Really?
like that, or at least with their with any bigger backpacks, like and like the water hydration packs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's not a bad idea.
No, especially like because not to get all political, but it's like what we truly need is change on a political and like law and governing level. But if they're not going to give us that, like there's little things we can do to feel better. Like
Exactly. Like I get it. Like yes, we need change with gun reform and all that stuff. But like, how many times can we shout that and it's not happening when it's like, okay, we need to do these other things too, though.
Yeah.
Like it can be both.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I felt good at Forest this year, but I will also say like that's the festival I experienced the least amount of sexual harassment at. Like that's the festival where I feel like I encounter, you know, just I mean, I'm not saying the place is perfect. People definitely do experience bad things
yeah.
there. You know, but like
Yeah.
I would say like comparatively to other festivals, I do feel like I experience and witness less. So yeah, I felt good going. And truly it was like when I got to Chicago on Monday, I was feeling better. When I woke up in Chicago on Tuesday, I was feeling better. When I woke up in Chicago on Wednesday and left, I was feeling better. You know, like by Thursday morning, I was like,
Let's go.
Electric Forest, let's
Yay!
go.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's, your brain's always running more before, and then you get there and you're like, okay.
It's always the transitions that are the worst.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't I know it?
But yeah, so it was funny because so Thursday morning I went and well, I mean I met up with them Wednesday night too, but Thursday morning I went to meet up with the people I usually do group camp with, and I had told everybody I was doing EF radio, and everybody was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing for EF radio?" I was like, "I don't know."
No idea.
So it was really cool though because throughout the whole weekend everybody was so curious about what I was doing and always had questions and like wanted to like know and like was like
Yeah.
cheering me on, and it was like really cool to have like
amazing.
that community support of people that were like, this is a big deal. And one of
They're good people.
they're such good people. One of the girls in our group camp, as she was asking me about it, she goes, "You know, Alicia, this isn't just a step for you. This is a jump." And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna cry again." So
What's
Yeah.
the Neil Armstrong quote? One step to
One step for man, one giant leap for man.
yeah. That's what comes. That's what comes to mind.
we are moonwalkers. I got a moon mat this weekend.
What? I saw your tweet about that. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, so they were selling the demo ones for like 25 bucks off. Yeah, so it's like pretty dirty. I'm gonna have to like wash it,
Yeah.
but like,
Worth it.
yeah, I got a moon mat.
Totally worth
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Totally worth
I
it.
called my partner and I was like, if I get a moon mat, will you help me carry it at festivals?
They're the best.
He was like, yup, and even sent me money for half of it. I was like, yes. So, proud owner of a moon mat.
I can't
Sleeping
wait to-
on a moon mat is nice.
Yeah.
That's what we fell asleep on, I think, right at Triple Rainbow outside. One of
Yeah.
the best sleeps.
It was.
Ever,
I
by
made
the
us
way.
the best nest.
We nested just outside under the canopy.
After you
After I sprained my
Dipshit.
ankle.
Ta-da! Sorry. 2 seconds before she fell, I asked, "Do you want help to the bathroom?" No, I got it.
I felt fine. I made it 3 steps from the tent. Good times.
Good times. Good
I can't wait to break that moon mat out at Base Ribbon Pines, July 20th through the 23rd.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yes, it is. I know because I had to take a day off or whatever. Don't let anybody poke the little dots out of your moon mats.
They're already all poked out.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, because it was a demo, so.
Oh, that's
they're all
right.
poked.
Yeah.
I just remember that happening. I think it was infrasound or something. People were poking the little dots out of Kelsey's moon mat. She was like,
no.
She was like, you guys, quit removing them.
But they also second as earplugs, don't they?
That's like.
They do.
The moon mats are repurposed.
Yeah.
From them making earplugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Super
it's like a
cool.
recycled item.
Super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Have I ever used earplugs for moon mats? Nope.
Not yet.
Have I sat on plenty of moon mats? Yes.
It's because you always have earplugs.
Yeah. I am the plug.
For earplugs.
So yeah, that was through Thursday.
What'd you do Friday?
Friday was a day.
What's your Friday?
So Friday, I went. So because I was doing Her Forest as my like package thing, and Her Forest invited Female Ravers United out to Electric Forest this year. So FRU was leading a panel on mindfulness and like safe online spaces. And I was asked by the FRU founder to speak on that panel, which was like a huge honor. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So she asked me like maybe a day or two before the festival, put me in a group chat with the other people speaking. And I
Oh
was,
my god, that's so cool.
oh
my god, how'd it go?
It went amazing. So the order of events is I was like, okay, I'm gonna definitely be at this panel. FRU is an aspect of Her Forest this year, so I'm gonna collect some interviews there for my package and what I'm putting together on Her Forest. So I went in and I got the microphone from Kent. He showed me how to use it and set it up, and I was like, oh, I have like an hour until this panel at the Brainery, which is like in the main street of the campgrounds. And so I went back to the group camp, and I'm like, I have my like recording box and my microphone, and I like walked up and I was like, hey everybody, and Adam and Kelsey are sitting next to each other and their backs are to me, and like a couple other people are sitting around, and I was like, look, and they were like, oh my gosh, is that your EF radio stuff? And I started sobbing. Like, I'm telling you, like, tears rolling down my face. Like, I just, it hit me so, like, freaking hard in that moment. Like, just, like, my friends, like, looking me in the face and being like, we're proud of you, we're excited. And I'm just, like, crying. I'm just, like,
oh my god, that's, like, making me tear up. Yeah, I'm so happy and proud.
It was amazing. And then now I'm, like, on my knees, like, crying on Kelsey's lap in the armchair, and everybody's like, is she okay? Kelsey's like, it's Kelsey's tears.
Yeah. Kelsey's the best person for that.
Yeah, honestly. So it was really cool to kind of like celebrate with my people. And then I did my first interview, which was with Adam, because he's 10 in the forest.
Yeah.
And so I was able to get my first interview of the weekend out of the way with someone I was like friends with.
That's
and,
cool.
Like, talk to him about
ease into it.
Yeah, like why he loves EF and why he keeps coming back and how it's changed and all this different stuff. So that was really cool. And then I went over to the panel. And I was able to meet Ellie, who's the founder, and then Alex and Devin, who are also from the Chicago scene for Female Ravers United. And then, I don't know if you remember Brittany with like the bright orange-red hair from the Not Low show when we had FRU out. I don't know if you chatted with them as much as I did, but So we had someone
No.
else there from the Minneapolis chapter.
Oh, cool. I
And,
think I remember her one trip.
Yeah, she super spunky.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so they pulled out like 2 couches for all of us, and we all had our own microphone, and there was like, I would guess like 100 plus people like listening to this panel on
Wow.
mindfulness.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And Ellie just kind of shared about how she like wanted basically a place to meet more people into electronic music when she moved to Chicago without exposing herself to a bunch of people that are potentially predatory, not good intentions, and so that's how it got started, and then it just kind of gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. But I didn't realize Female Ravers United started in Chicago.
No,
I had no idea. That's really cool.
Yeah, and it also makes sense why the Minneapolis chapter is so active and big, because we're like the next city
So
over.
close.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we all just talked about like why that page is important to us and like what we've learned about mindfulness through the page, and kind of explained to people about the meetups and like what the online space is like, and it was so cool to speak, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that got to speak that wasn't like a moderator or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm also pretty sure that I'm the only one up there. I think maybe Alex does some stuff, but I think I was the only one who's like trying to like make it in the music industry as like a professional in like, well, specifically in journalism, but there's nobody else up there who is like trying to like DJ or produce or like, you know,
Right.
kind of. And I was really able to talk about how like Female Ravers United, like those groups are like the places that celebrate my successes as a woman in music more than anyone else. Like, and they're always like cheering me on and like excited, and like I found that, like I found that there in that group, and like they always approve our post. They're like, sometimes they even shout out our stuff before we even like share
They
it.
are so supportive, and they're like, is it Ellie that's or Liz or somebody that's always in our
Lizzie.
Discord? Lizzie, yes.
Yep.
Like I love that. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, Lizzie and so Ellie. So Lizzie's from the Minnesota chapter. Ellie is from the Chicago chapter, the founder. They will both be on our radio show in 2 weeks, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna have Ellie share a little bit more about her experience, because she was also a plug-in program participant. So she's gonna share a little bit more about her experience at Electric Forest, and then Lizzie's gonna share with us about like what to expect from Female Ravers United at Base Ribbon Pines. So kind of like, you know, FRU in the scene, you know,
all of it.
Cool.
2 for 1.
So yeah. Yes.
I also just want to mention really quick that when you were talking about you crying, that Erica put "I'm deaf" crying. And then Shane said, "Okay, but the fact that you're talking about the radio thing you did on the other radio thing that you do is super meta, Alicia." And I said, "Radioception."
Radioception.
Yeah, when I was like trying to advertise this, I was like, how do I make this clear that I'm like talking about radio stuff on a different radio show? So
Different radio show stuff on
on my
Radioception.
So and that was really cool participating in that. I have never actually been able to attend like an FRU meetup because like they do a lot of them at like the larger shows, and I'm just like not going to larger shows right now. I'm going to a lot more like the local promoters and stuff. So
Yes.
I was able to be a part of my first FRU group photo. And I'll drop that in the Discord chat.
I was just gonna say, please do.
And okay, here's what was so cool about it. Because I was expecting the audience to be all female presenting people.
Yeah.
There were so many men in that audience.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
And there was times like we would say things and the men would be like the loudest cheerers about like inclusivity and like safe spaces. And it was just like, y'all are like hearing us, and you're not cheering because you've lived it and understand it. You're cheering because like you see the importance in this, and like you want this for us, you know.
And they're gonna tell their friends.
Oh,
and they're gonna
God.
tell their
Yeah.
friends.
I'm tearing up again.
I know, I'm getting chills. I just like
Oh man, that makes me so happy and so proud.
Yeah.
I
Seriously.
it was phenomenal. And like Ellie made us all candy that had Female Ravers United on it. And she like gave out some like sample merch that they're making to like people who asked questions. And there's a lot of people in the audience who were like really inspired like to get involved more in Female Ravers United and to know they aren't alone. It was really cool. And then what was also a big turnout at this this panel was like ravers over 30. There was a lot of older ravers that were like, I love this, and I'm like, I don't have my younger friends anymore, and like I'm still doing it, and I need more people.
Oh God, we're about there.
I know we are. Yep. So it's
Be safe, kids.
it's inspirational.
No, that is so cool.
It's good.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun just like, and y'all know I'm a talker, so I just like, I love
Which
being
is
up
perfect.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love FRU. I'm so happy they exist.
Yeah.
Same. I'm really excited to get like more involved
Me too,
with
actually.
them. Yeah. And we did discuss a little bit, but I think the FRU booth is going to be set up next to our booth at Base Urban Pines.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, so that's going to be...
I am so pumped for this year. Oh my
Me too.
God.
Me too.
So
good.
Yeah, and I got to like snag some interviews with people afterwards just about like why these spaces are important and how long they've been involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really cool to kind of like put some like faces to like people I've been friends with online or followed for a while. So yeah, that was really, really cool. That was honestly probably the highlight of my weekend was like getting to be a part of that panel. And FRU had a couple other meetups throughout the weekend, but like y'all, I was spread so thin between the radio stuff, like experiencing the forest, being camped so far away and having to walk, like didn't make as much of like the meetups and stuff as I wanted. But I definitely like it was really cool just to like see like how widespread this community was. And I even got a chat with this one male presenting person afterwards, and he's like, we need a men's Ravers United, like where do we get that? And I was like, honestly, reach out. I was like, I'm sure they would help you formulate a group in a way that is, you know,
a safe space for male identifying, because you know it's the same issues, they just don't talk about.
Everybody deserves a safe space, 100%, and they and like male representing people like deserve to have that connection with each other to talk about the things you know that they can't talk about with us too, that like help lift each other up too. I think that's a really good idea.
And just to clarify, he didn't mean it in like a where's mine.
I know you wouldn't have even
you mentioned that, but he was so amped from that talk that he was like, I want that sense of belonging and community.
That's how I felt it, like you explaining it.
It
didn't come off that way. It like because cool.
I
feel like
I knew your radar would have been dinging if it was the other way.
Yeah, exactly. So it really introduced me to a bunch of really cool people, and like
God, I love that.
And it was a really diverse like group as well. So it's just like feels really cool. Not cool. It feels like something's on track being a part of a group that's not just a bunch of white women. Like when there's people of different like backgrounds, gender identities, colors, cultures, everything kind of like coming together, because it's like when everybody in your circle looks just like you, especially when you're the majority, it's like something's off. So it was just really cool to like, and I'm talking to everybody like in the audience speaking, it was just like it was super cool to kind of see that play out, and a great way to set the tone for the weekend too. Like,
oh, thank you FRU for existing. Seriously, this is much needed. Long time coming. Amazingness.
So I'm excited. I think FRU is about to make some like really big jumps.
Oh yeah.
I think that they are on the brink of something really great, and I'm so excited to like cheer it on and just be an active part of it. Like, that's
be at the meetups, you know.
Share
their stuff.
Help
sell their merch.
It's a two-way street. It's a two-way
Support
street.
each other.
Support each other.
Be Yas Queens.
Have a safe space to go.
Yes. So yeah, so that was Friday. What music did I see on Friday? I think I saw a little bit of Sophie Tucker on Friday.
I have to use my inhaler, excuse me. The air quality's not great.
Your asthma's acting up.
Oh, Friday was Bass Rush.
Is this when you saw DJ Diesel?
I did see DJ Diesel on Friday. I saw String Cheese on Friday. I saw a little bit of the Rusko back-to-back Dirt Monkey, Peekaboo, a little bit of Ganja White Night, but I was like ready for bed at that point.
Yeah. Long day.
It was. Okay, that DJ Diesel set.
Was it gas?
It was the absolute worst set I have ever seen at Electric Forest. And I might be partially saying that because I really don't do like the heavy dubstep anymore. Like that's like, 2013, 14 Alicia.
Yeah.
But like his set, I don't know. I was just like, Shaq, you obviously didn't rave in 2016 because that's when all these mosh pit songs are popular, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing he does is he comes on the mic and he says something along the lines of like, I want to see a bunch of girls' titties tonight. First words out of this man's mouth on the mic.
Oh.
And I'm like, I turned to Marcus and Adam. I was like, did he say what I thought he said? And they were like, yes. I was like, okay. It's Shaq, we'll give him a pass.
It's fine.
This man, like every time he got on the mic, he's like, let's start a mosh pit. That's
what he was doing on the Bonnaroo Live.
And then it hit a point where he was like, where's my mosh pit?
Yeah.
And
Yep. Same set.
I felt so much pressure.
To
It was like,
mosh.
I don't want to push my friends, Shaq. Like, stop telling me to push my friends. And he called for an all ladies mosh pit. I understood, like, I talked to a couple people. It was very cut and copy from all his other sets.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But he's the only DJ you can see from all the way that far back in the crowd because that man's massive.
Is he like 7'1"?
He's huge. I don't even know. His arm span was the same length as the whole DJ table. Like,
I think
just
he's
goes,
not educated and updated on the current times of...
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give him a pass, but like
Yeah.
just saying like, especially in like
Yeah.
our community.
Electric Forest wasn't the fest for that.
No.
Like,
I could see like Lost Lands.
yeah, Lost Lands loves that stuff. Give that
Yeah.
shit
But
to
also
Lost
like,
Lands.
do people still mosh?
I think they do.
Like I don't know.
Like hardcore, like that's their thing.
And I'm with you, like when you
DJ
say
sets.
like that was more 2016 Alicia, like the dubstep, like same, like that was my kind of music from like 2012
The really hard
to 2016 or something, like just really
Yeah.
hard like headbanging stuff, and it's just like watching his Bonnaroo live, I was just like, okay, like that's where he's at, but yeah,
and there are still people
that's
into
fine.
that.
which is fine, but then it's like adding in like
The mosh
just like he's
pit.
basically just mosh already.
Yeah,
Get into a
yeah.
big fight in the middle of the
I felt like he
crowd
was disappointed in all of us.
for not moshing.
Yeah.
That's how I felt watching the Bonnaroo live, and I was sitting in my living room. I'm like, why is Shaq disappointed in us?
And he was between Peekaboo and Ganja White Night. Like it was very off. Like, and I'm not a super big Virtual Riot fan, but I almost felt like he would have been better right after or before Virtual Riot.
Yeah.
So it felt a little flip floppy. But I told some people during the set, I was like, dubstep made me. DJ Diesel doing dubstep made me want to do two things that dubstep has never made me want to do before. Laugh. I laughed my ass off that whole set because I was just like, is this real? Like, this is a fever dream. Like, I'm going to wake up and someone's going to say, no, Shaq never DJ'd dubstep. And I wanted to call my dad and be like, Dad, guess who I'm watching DJ? Like, Shaq. My dad has never cared about a dubstep show before, but I think he'd care about that one.
I think he would be like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about like that before. I haven't even told my parents that Shaq is a
the
freaking
DJ.
dubstep DJ.
Yeah.
They would get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a
nice.
fever dream, and especially him
Yeah.
yelling for everybody to mosh and I guess show their titties.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's
was
very
It's
cringe.
not 2012 in a freaking
Yeah.
nightclub
Yeah.
anymore where ladies drink free. Like, come on
because
now.
they take their tops off and then get free shots.
Yeah, and he had
familiar.
basketball graphics. Yeah, he had gorilla graphics, and then this like Tokyo type graphic, really going down the street, and it's all the billboards, and it was like Shack Noodles, Diesel Pizza, like it was
that's-
crazy. I stayed for the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
can't- I mean,
you have to.
You can't look away.
Yeah.
it's like an accident
It is next.
or a fire on the side of the road. You can't look away.
Except it was in front of you with a lot of lasers. So
Did anyone mosh?
I don't know.
Were you like it was a pretty big
front.
You know,
crowd?
I was like looking. I didn't see anything. One of our friends did say that people kind of off to the sides were like going crazy, but I didn't understand if that meant like actually moshing or what. But
They were just running in the circle and just kind of
Yeah.
lightly pushing each other.
And he also was like, he kept signaling out one dude in the crowd. He was like, at one point he was like, I'll give someone $1,000 who can take down the big man. Like, so there was apparently a big dude in the crowd that was trying to mosh, but I couldn't see. I would love
Interesting.
to hear about Shaq's experience at Electric Forest. And I also really would love to interview Shaq. So Shaq, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry for talking so much shit, but I have a lot of questions. Like, do you take yourself seriously? Like, truly. Like, I'm maybe I sound like a jerk, but like
Where is it?
Like, are you just up there having fun? Or are you even having fun? Is this a money grab?
Yeah,
Like,
is it a management thing?
So from the interviews I've seen, he is having fun because he said that a big reason he likes to do this is because he loves to make the kids have fun.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
He did.
And I truly, because although I don't agree with what he's saying and doing necessarily, I still want to believe that maybe there's room for education on it. Like, I don't know if anybody has sat him down yet and been like, hey man, we're past this.
Let's work on this stuff.
Yeah.
Because he started DJing, like remember those videos of him DJing in his kitchen with his
Yeah.
kids?
yeah.
And last year he was fine, starting to be on lineups and
I don't know.
I think it was like last year he started really blowing up, or the year
Yeah.
before or something.
And let's talk about some of the things he does do well. He does
plays basketball. Just kidding. Sorry.
Aaron Carter wrote a song about him.
yeah, yo.
Aaron Carter.
He does put on a lot of smaller DJs. You know,
Yeah.
he really does
Yeah.
listen to their mixes and their tracks and stuff. He did just announce a festival that has a lot of up and coming bass music artists.
Really?
Yeah, and so there's
Ah.
props to
Yeah.
him on that, but it's just
Yeah.
Well, and I've heard he's just from my friends that have got to be in the green room with him or play shows with him, they've been like, yeah, he's a super nice, chill, well-rounded person.
yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
I think there's potential there for.
Yeah, I just wasn't happy that he wanted to see titties. Truly,
No.
I didn't make
Yeah.
a big deal about it because it was
fair.
whatever.
No, it's who yells,
fair.
who says that anymore?
yeah, like Borgor. And
Does
those,
Borgor still say
I mean,
that?
I don't know.
God.
I just don't have high expectations of Borgor.
No.
But Borgor's not getting invited to Electric Forest,
No.
you know. So it's what, Jenna?
Okay. The song Bitches Love Cake. Is
Yes.
that a euphemism for cream? Like bitches love.
Did you? Maybe.
I mean, it's definitely a euphemism for sexual things, yeah.
I think it's cream. Sorry.
I wish we had a soundboard right now.
So you could do crickets.
Yeah.
Just thinking make fun of myself.
Also, just really quick, back to like Shaq offering $1,000 to take down the big man. I would have joined in on that. I would have been like anything.
Yeah, Brittany would have like made her way to the
Yeah,
top
I
of
would
the
have been
crowd.
like, wait, what?
I'd be
Okay,
like,
I'm in. I'm gonna try.
Jumped
Yeah.
on him like Wesley does on Andre the Giant and Princess
Oh,
Bride.
yeah, you
choke
can
him
do
out.
you can do some shit if you're a way smaller person than the other person. Truly, and I'm kind of crazy, so I believe in my powers.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we got a petition to get Shaq on the radio show in the Discord chat.
Also, Fuzz said, Brittany is right. He does play basketball very well. Shane, imagine Shaq in your house. Would he even fit?
Dude, probably not.
No.
He has to have specially built everything.
Oh, easy.
Doorways.
Easy. So, yeah, that was my Friday night.
Shaq.
And then I caught about half, maybe not even half, like 30 minutes of Ganja White night. And I was so exhausted. Like, I was so tired. I was just like, I Irish goodbye the whole group. Everybody was there. I was like, I
Gotta do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Gotta go to bed.
So I did find Megan. Megan watched Ganja White night with us. So I said goodbye to her because I think I was like the core person she knew there. So I'm not going to leave you with these weirdos. I love these weirdos, but like you need to know I'm departing.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that was wild. Yeah, and it was funny too because that whole like next morning, all the campground was talking about that DJ Diesel set. Like, everybody was there. Everybody was impacted by it one way or another.
I
Yeah.
saw people, it was getting tweeted about live from Electric Forest. Like, people were like, the best thing that came out of Forest was DJ Diesel telling women to get in the mosh pit or something.
Lord. And I had to be up early on Saturday because on Saturday morning I got invited to tour the forest with some of the art curators.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
That's so cool.
I got up at a decent time.
Yeah.
And the tour is at 12. Of course, I was late to that, but they changed the time. If they wouldn't have changed the time, I would have been there on time.
Got it.
But yeah, I got it.
You get a pass this time.
Thank you. And they talked with us a lot about, they had some like the plug-in photographers there, so showing them kind of like these are different spots you can take photos. This is what's special about this art installation. This is like that.
Oh my god, so you got to like learn more about the art there
Yeah.
and like what's behind it. Like it's not just a thing you can take a picture by.
Yes, and okay, so many of these art installations are dreamt up by plug-in program people.
Ooh.
And then so many of those plug-in program people are invited back as staff the next year. Like, it's
Cool.
yeah, it's not just like one and done stuff regularly.
Yeah.
That gives me hope for
Exactly.
the EF radio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they talked a lot. I learned a lot about the trees. Apparently, the trees in Sherwood Forest are not native to Michigan.
Interesting. Okay.
So there was a grant given out by FDR to different places in Michigan to grow trees because of the Chicago fire. A lot of trees were harvested from Michigan to rebuild Chicago.
Got
So
it.
there's a reforesting program done.
Yeah.
But the problem is that a lot of the trees in Sherwood Forest are reaching the end of their lifespan because they're not native. So they're getting like 60, 70 years old, and there's beetles that are basically taking them out. So there's a lot of effort happening right now to reforest the forest. So
Got
that
it.
was like
That's
mind-blowing to me.
crazy.
And they talk about that's why they moved the observatory a couple years back because they had to cut down so many trees that were infected. And then so that's why they moved it and rebuilt a like structure there because they already had to clear it out.
Got it.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
So that was really cool and also kind of sad to learn about. But it's really cool that there are people making efforts truly to care for
Yeah.
the trees and the land. They planted 10 new trees in honor of the 10 in the Forest people.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
me so happy.
And then they also planted trees, and they put their names by them for people who have been a part of Electric Forest who have passed. So like a fire chief that was a part of the festival for years, there's a tree for him.
Wally.
I think there was a tree for Wally, yeah. They also had a video screen next to, like, you could watch, like, a little video with, like, sub-captions about Wally and not just that, like, cut out, you know, like, with the words written on it. So that was really cool. I got to see, they built a structure, and on the bottom, like, you go stand under it, and then you could look up was the names of all the 10 of the forest people who submitted to have their name on it in time.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
it was really, really cool.
Was Adam's on there?
Adam did not check his email in time. I know.
Oh.
So that was really cool to learn about. What else? Okay, so there's like the magic mushroom art installation, which are these little white mushrooms, like it's in just one little area on the trees, and they have LED lights in them and they glow. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So they made that by these people actually grew mushrooms and then took molds of them and then copied the molds and then went for wherever they're from, found the same types of trees that are in Sherwood Forest, harvested bark off of them, and that's around the trees at the forest with all the wiring under it to make those little mushrooms glow.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. What a great idea.
Right?
Wow.
Like, it was just like little like tidbits of information like that, and like it was really cool.
Just learning what's behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
So that was, and I honestly, that was probably something I was like really bummed about. I didn't get as much time to explore the forest this year as I usually do. But it's because I was working and the times I'd usually be relaxing. Yeah. So having that opportunity to like see everything and like that was really cool. And I got some really cool photos too with like not a lot of people in the background and stuff like that.
To really enjoy it, like quiet.
Yeah. So
did they still have the library?
they do still have the library. The library is a lot bigger this year.
Because it was really small last year.
Yeah, it was really big this year. I didn't get to explore it much, but there was like a little stage in there and a bunch of books and I'm obviously. But no, I didn't get to. When I say I didn't get to explore the forest much outside of that,
Not really.
barely. And that's like a huge part of that festival for me. It's like, I think as I've gotten older, I spent less time at the afters because I'm like getting up earlier in the morning to go do the fairy door exploration, the this, the that. I forgot to take a picture in the van. I sat in it once. I made Adam sit in it with me. And then he was like, "You want your picture taken?" I was like, "No, I'll come back. Like I always spend like so much time at the van." So
Aww.
I know.
I do like those pictures. Also, really quick, Erica wants to know what happened to the umbrellas.
I don't know. They replaced them with like these really big flags that like kind of like float in the wind. I'll throw a I know. I'll throw that in there. But also, you know, those were only those umbrellas were only there for a couple of years. You know, like I don't think it's uncommon for us to like see
Something
things
different
change out. And I will say that as frustrated as we all were with the increase of price for the tickets, this was the biggest change of the forest I have ever seen. Like this was the biggest like reimagining of it. Yeah. So I will give them that. There felt like there was more sculptures. The Dream Emporium came and replaced the hangar, which was mind blowing. So yeah, there were some things that were different and not there, but I think they've like really. Like all the stages were different, you know, at least the big ones.
They looked different. Like they looked more structure, or like the art structures around them looked more.
Yeah, I've noticed. Of course, I've still never been, but you know, I noticed. I always look at the pictures, and also I've been seeing a lot of people kind of say that this is their favorite forest this year.
Really,
people that have been going for a long time. Yeah, which is really cool. Also, Erica wants to know if their bathtub was there.
I don't think so.
Dang.
I didn't see it.
That iconic picture of you in the bathtub lives in my head rent free.
I love that photo so much. I love that photo so much. Yeah, you know, there was a lot that was different, but nothing that was like I wasn't upset about it. You
Yeah.
know, oh my gosh, one of the plug-in programs, which was new. They didn't have the telephones throughout the forest, but they
I was
had
gonna ask that.
a telephone booth,
Okay.
and you could go into the booth, and you could either listen to a message or record a message.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that was a new plug-in program. And I didn't get a chance to like witness it or participate, but they were saying that people who were like watching it said people would leave that telephone booth just crying because they were just like hearing messages from other people. I don't know if they were like words of encouragement
Right,
or what.
like what they needed to
I
hear
saw
in that
a
moment.
really amazing picture of somebody in that telephone booth
Really?
that they really, because a Forest freaking social media management, like whoever's running that shit is just so good. They're pumping it out like the
Yeah.
whole weekend. Like day one, they pumped out all of those photos, and it was somebody in
Yep.
that photo booth, and I was like, or phone booth, and I was like, oh, that's so cute.
So yeah, a lot of changes, but all
for the good.
for the good, all
Yeah.
for the best.
I do feel like last year was kind of messy.
last year was rough.
Last year was rough, and yeah, I feel like what's the water situation? I mean, that wasn't like too terrible last year, but I felt like I was always waiting in the line for water. Like, was that better?
Yeah,
was
I
the
don't
trash
think I waited
better?
any lines for water.
Were the porta potties cleaner?
I guess I didn't really deal with any porta potty messes.
Yeah.
Some of the porta potties were like really old though, so
Really?
it was kind of difficult to tell which ones were locked or not. But I will say that the older porta potties have metal braces in the corners, so it was like really easy to like hold onto these braces on
yep.
either side of the door and like squat.
Oh yeah, like those big red ones.
They were like tan,
Oh okay.
so
Either way,
yeah, it was.
that's nice.
Yeah, it was
That's
very
ideal.
nice.
It's very ideal.
So I mean, like, honestly, the thing I was most disappointed about was the lack of like jam bands and live bands.
Yeah.
but I knew that going in.
Right.
I saw the lineup.
Right. right. Still disappointing when you get there though.
Yeah, but like I really got to enjoy Flip Turn, STS9, String Cheese, and I think there was like smaller bands there as well. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a damn good time. Okay, I know this wasn't like in our plan, but I'm like kind of running out of breath. What if we started playing some of the mix that we have and take just like a quick 10-minute break to catch our breaths?
I like that.
And then we'll get back into it. So I was given my first USB at Electric Forest with music on it by an artist who goes by Spiral. He's from Chicago, and he was passing out USBs. He has a 30-minute mix on there with visualizers. And I asked him for one. I was like, I want this for my radio show, because sometimes we have episodes where we're not having a musical guest and we still need music to play out. Little did I know, it would literally be the week after Forest. So I will drop his YouTube link in the Discord. We'll play this out a little bit. I'm going to take a chug of water, or 2 or 3, and we'll be back. That was most of the 30 Minutes of Madness by Spiral. There's still a little bit left of that, but we are going to save that to close out on. We're feeling recentered and our breath caught back. And
Yes, the kitchen is clean. Reenie is here.
Reenie's here, and she has a lot to say.
Hi, Reenie.
thank you.
Okay. Bye.
So while we were listening to that mix, the girls asked if I would give them their presents, because I told them I got them stuff. One is like a thank you for all their support, but also a thank you for watching my troublesome cat.
We love him.
We love him anyways.
Yep.
He is big baby.
He is big baby.
So I'm going to start with Brittany's. So there's 2 parts to Brittany's gift.
What the?
The first part was made by who we call East Coast Shane. He is in our group camp.
West Coast Shane.
West Coast Shane. And he does the laser stuff.
Oh, cute.
And he made these pink mushroom earrings.
These are so cute. Thank you.
so cute.
You know I will wear the shit out of them.
Yeah, he gave those to me, and I was like, these are like definitely Brittany's style.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
cute. Thank you.
and then the second part of your gift was given to me by Living by the F Word. And again, I was like, oh, this is so Brittany. It's a little puffball keychain.
That's so cute.
Oh my god, thank you. So
And they
cute.
even
Thank
kinda
you, love.
match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
So that
of
like
course.
pink, orange.
Well, and
bright-
Alicia knows my aesthetic better than anybody in this world, so with her pink ass microphone. Thank you, love.
Yeah,
Those are
True.
cute. So cool that it came from people that
Yep,
like
exactly.
that
Like,
you're working
very
with, or
special.
like yeah.
I didn't buy anything at Forest this year just
Yeah.
because like there's such like a gift giving culture and stuff.
Yeah.
and it's like
Which is amazing.
yes. And then this, my gift for Jenna
You're gonna die.
was my prize from the prize cart on Sunday night.
Prize
card.
It is a blue tie-dye Electric Forest tank top.
Isn't that so fucking perfect? Jenna's crying, everybody.
Oh, you know how much this means.
Isn't it perfect too, though? Like, holy shit. Aww.
Perfect.
And the year's not on it, so
That's so cool. Oh.
it's just kind of representative of your whole experience and love for
thank
Electric
you.
Forest.
So cute.
I was really missing it this year. I really was.
There's a lot of emotions.
I cried the first couple days.
Yeah. I cried too. I've never been, but it's just like, I wanted to go, and then also just the feeling of not doing anything this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing too. Is that like I was upset that like I couldn't go.
Oh, that looks
you
perfect.
know?
Oh
Fits you
yeah, that fits
perfectly.
you just right. It's like that Razorback
Ooh,
Yeah.
that you like. And
Nope. That's. I love these.
God, it's definitely her style too.
Yeah.
So cute.
It
The
was
forest
meant for me.
provides.
Thank you.
Let's take a picture of you in it and upload it to the chat. Let's see. My phone camera is not loading. I don't know what's happening.
Do you want me to do mine or?
Yeah, why don't you do it?
Switch around.
So yeah, so I did the prize cart on Sunday, and I got that tank top, and then I got a green EF beanie.
Perfect.
And then like, you know, I lost my G Jones beanie,
yeah.
and I've been really upset about that, so it was nice to get
Again, the forest provides.
yes,
Did you get to
exactly.
pick it out, or
No,
they
I
were
had one of the
just-
larger bags full of stuff. So like, this
Yeah.
is a big one. So I got like a whole package of stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, whereas some people are just getting fanny packs
Right,
and hats. I got
right.
like, it was easy over $100 worth of merch. Like,
Nice.
yeah, and then I
Oh,
got this
yeah.
like little like sweatband that has and it has like a stash pocket in it, and it says
Nice.
EF, and then
Oh, cute.
Cute.
yeah, and then a drawstring clear bag that says EF. So
Oh, nice. Those drawstring bags are really nice.
yeah, so that was really exciting because like I kept going to the merch booth, but I couldn't justify spending that much money on that merch. So, yeah, that was
Yeah.
really fun. Oh, cool. Yep. Brittany just dropped pictures of everything in
Aw.
the chat. Of course, there's a little bit of delay here. So
Oh yeah, I didn't really think about
I didn't
that.
either. I was
They
like-
might have heard it by now, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, that those are the little gifts for y'all. Thank you for just like supporting me on
Thank you.
everything.
Aw. We love you so
I
much.
love you so much. Next year we'll be there with you.
Yes, next year
Yes.
we're
Maybe
running.
we can come as a freaking team, a part of your staff or something.
That
Wouldn't
would
that be freaking amazing?
amazing.
And if not next year, then maybe the year after that.
It's gonna keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, we're on to something. I think EF Radio is on to something, and I think they made the right choice by who they picked to participate.
I think they did.
Oh, 100%.
It was def intentional. Like having the radio show kind of gave you a leg up. Oh,
Yeah, I knew what I was doing,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
I felt like I knew what questions to ask and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how the content turned out. So the stuff we recorded and did is going to be played on EF Radio and on EF Radio podcasts throughout the year. So there wasn't anything live during the festival that you could listen to. It was more so like
Getting content for
Yeah.
the year. Which makes
Uh,
sense. There's
yeah.
not good service there.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's go back a little bit to Saturday.
Yes.
So when I did this like forest tour, I was like, I'm gonna go to this forest tour and meet the people I need to meet to get my interviews later. Met this girl named Christina, and I was like, hey, I'm doing a Her Forest package. I want to talk to some women who are higher up in the planning and organizing of Electric Forest. She was like, okay, come to the Her Forest panel, and a bunch of the women are going to be speaking on the panel, and then you can chat with them afterwards. I'll introduce you, bring your stuff. I was like, cool, because it's intimidating just to go up to people and be like, can we have an interview?
Totally.
So I'm so excited, and I go back to the radio booth, and I'm telling them that I, got all, I'm going to do this and be so cool, So I go to the honeycomb stage, and I'm like, oh, I must have had the time wrong, because the humanitarian circle was starting. And I'm like, well, I'll just participate in the humanitarian circle, and maybe the panel's afterwards. Nope, the panel was happening at the Brainery in the campgrounds, and I was at this humanitarian circle with Hannah Muse for like an hour. And these circles are such intentional spaces that once I was like in it, I like wasn't checking my phone, I didn't even really think that an hour had even passed, that anything.
Right.
So I met this beautiful human named Sean. They shared their yoga mat with me.
Aww.
And Hannah had us like pick a partner in the crowd, turn to them, and like share about ourselves and look them in the eyes, and very intentional space. And it was wild, because the first thing she was like, okay, person A, repeat after me and then share, and then person B would do the same. And they were like, person A, I was person A, and they were like, repeat after me, if you really knew me, you would know that. And I said that, and my thing was, you would know that I try really, really hard. And I was like, I'm trying hard all the time, probably too hard sometimes. And Sean and I had this great conversation about just like giving, being hard workers and like giving things our all, and how it's just like tiring sometimes. And then for the circle to end and for me to realize I was at the wrong stage.
You were trying really hard.
And I was just like, I started beating myself up, and I was, and I'm like, I thought I was gonna pee my pants, honestly. Like, I like started, I dipped out, like, I skipped on the last little bit of it, and I'm like running to the radio booth, and I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna pee? Am I gonna cry? Like, what is happening?
Your heart's in your stomach.
Where is the liquid gonna come out of?
Mom, I threw up.
Mom, I threw up.
So I go to the radio booth, and I'm like, I messed up. I was at the wrong stage. I don't know why I thought I was at Honeycomb. It's actually at the Brainery, which is like a 20-minute walk apart.
Yeah.
And Kent and Clayton were so unbothered.
Oh,
they were just
that
like,
makes me so happy.
they're like, mistakes happen. And I'm like, no,
not in my world.
Yeah. And I'm like telling myself, like, damn, Alicia, you do try really hard, and it's okay to fall short. It's okay to like not, to try and it not work,
Yeah.
And
so interesting.
Right?
It's almost like that was meant to happen.
Right? And then get this, the person I was paired up with, Sean, lives in the town in Michigan I was raised in. Yeah. Like I lived in Michigan from when I was 3 until 5th grade, and they live in that town.
You were supposed to be there.
I was.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And we just like had this great connection, these great conversations. We traded social media, and I like, I went to them. And I told them how I was like so upset, and they were like, "It's fine. It's no big deal. We all make mistakes." They were like, "Some of our recordings didn't work on the first day. Blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Just go by the Brainery and see if they're still there. Sometimes people hang." So I'm booking it to the Brainery. Nobody's still there from the panel. And I had like Christina, the woman I had chatted with earlier, was like waiting for me, and I just felt like I let everybody down, but nobody was mad at me except for myself.
Totally.
So I like go back to camp. I call my partner, and I'm like crying a little bit on the phone. I was just like, I messed up. And I'm saying this, I'm like, nobody's mad at me, but I'm so disappointed in myself because I only have like so many days to prove myself and to like show up. And he was like, it's okay, like cry, let it out, like you're fine, and you know, all the comforting things. And then I go into my camp, and the 3 people I was camped with were there, and I thought I was okay, and I was like, yeah, I missed my interview, and then just waterworks, and I just sat there and sobbed with a little microphone in my hand. And they were all so wonderful. They just like let me cry it out. Like nobody tried to comfort me, nobody tried to anything. They listened, but you know, they kind of just, you know, kept doing what they were doing. And eventually I was just like, I think I'm just hot and hungry. And so then, you know, they set up the stove for me, and I like cooked some of my prepped meals. And Amber was so freaking sweet. She was like, yeah, like, eat your food. Does it taste good? You know, just like, I felt like she was really trying to get me to focus on the food I was eating.
Get your mind
5
off of
senses.
it.
Yeah. So I ate my food, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling better. Smoked a little weed. You know, just really kind of like realized that, you know, what I was like thinking, actually I felt it. Like, nobody's mad at you. Like, you tried and you missed, and that's okay. And I shot Kent a text message. I was like, Kent, like, nobody was there. Please, 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 can you set up an interview for me? Can you please reach out to some people that you know? Because I really want these, like, this interview with, like, powerful women at EF. Like, this is why I'm here. So I go to my car, and I go to plug in my phone, and Amber comes around, and she's like, hey, like, I just want you, sorry, Amber, but she was like, I just want you to know that, like, I cried earlier today, too. It's okay. Like, we're allowed to have big feels. Like, and it was just, like, such a moment of just, like, it's okay. Like,
I'm going to cry, like, teared up, like, 4 times.
I know. Very affirming.
Yeah, like, these are the kind of people you want in your corner. Like, that's
and it was just, like,
so
really
sweet.
tender of her to, like, nobody tried to, like, calm me down from my crying. Nobody tried to, and even when I was talking to the radio guys, nobody tried to calm me down. They were just like, yeah, it's okay. Like
it ain't no thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I truly just, like, really had a revelation there with about, like, how hard I tried. And I'm still not fully sure what that revelation was, but it definitely was synced up, you know.
Like, you're gonna be a little bit more compassionate with yourself going forward.
You're a human, and we are our biggest critics, and you're gonna, I mean, I do this all the time too, you're gonna think, like, what you're thinking that everyone is gonna feel is just what you're feeling. It's not truth, and if it is, then, I mean,
whatever,
those
they're not worth
certain
it.
people need to, like, go on a walk and touch some grass.
It took me, like, 2 years of therapy to realize it, so I'm glad that you realized it with a stranger in the forest.
I'm still working on I'm reworking again on realizing it. So
And it's still
totally
every day.
It's hard.
But it's hard.
And it's like, I feel like we always, like, want to prove ourselves and our worth to people. But, like, I think sometimes just showing up is proof enough. Like, we're here, we're doing it, and
you work so hard too, and everybody around you sees that.
Thank
People
you.
that don't even know you, but they're, like, watching, know it. You know what I mean? You're a really hard worker.
Thank you.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. That
I'm
really
so
means a
thankful to
lot.
have you as one of my BFFs.
Oh my god, I want to fucking
Episode is filled with tears and
Happy tears.
not
tears.
fully expect that. So, you know, I eat, I feel good. Amber really has some affirming words. And Kent texts me back. And he goes, Hannah Muse, who leads the yoga and the intentional circles, is down for an interview. And so is Jen, who leads the Her Forest group camp.
Oh.
It's like, what time works for you? And I was like, give me, 2-3 hours, whatever. So I get to go interview them in the studio space. Not just like me in the field with a mic, but like sitting down with the computers and the AC and the microphones.
The real deal shit.
Yeah.
the whole shebang.
Oh, my heart is so full.
So that was just
That's
like,
so cool.
It was all meant to happen how it did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was just like, it was so inspiring to hear them talk about just like the Her Forest program and why it's important and like how it's kind of played out. So guess what? The first year they did Her Forest, the group camp only had 12 people in it. They had like 60 this year.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And basically what Jen does is she's camp mom. And she really, her whole goal is just to empower these female identifying people to exist in this space. And so she will help when asked, but she doesn't hover. That's like her thing. And she's like, you're watching female identifying people show each other how to set up tents, show each other how to do this, carpooling, like doing all these
Oh, that is badass.
Yeah.
I love that.
Wow, that is fucking cool.
That's
Yeah.
something I never even thought of, you know? Like,
and sorry,
no, just,
and they so they like don't really advertise where the group camp is for like the safety of these people. They like don't allow men in the group camp. Like if a dude comes like to the group camp, they kick them out. And if you need something from a woman in this group, you can send in another woman.
These are my people.
Like, yeah. And
I need them right now.
I even asked them, I was like, okay, I understand this is a place to empower women that come by themselves, but can groups of women join?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, we have girls that like know each other previously and come. They have alumni who come and like join every year after
Oh my
doing
god, we should drop links because I mean for my own.
right. And I wonder, do you know how people can get connected with them?
Yeah, on the like Electric Forest page, under the plug-in stuff, there's a Her Forest.
Oh, perfect.
And you can like
Okay.
reach out and apply
Okay.
to like be a part of it.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, so that is just like, it was so cool to get to chat with them and like, and at the same time, so they're really able to like hype each other up. And Hannah really talked about the importance of like the mindfulness of like the yoga and the circles. And they have two circles. There's a femme identifying circle and then a humanities circle. And the humanities circle is like open to male identifying and all other identities of people. And it's really just, you know, like I shared, like, you know, Sean and I just like looked each other in the eyes and really, you know, just shared about our passions and our fears and like really just got to see people for people. And you like, you know, it's quiet in the forest, you hear the wind, like all that different stuff.
There's
So
not all that noise going on.
yeah, exactly. So that was like, that was super cool to like, I felt like I made this huge mistake. And the mistake ended in me actually getting to speak with the person who led the circle as well as like Jen. So
Right, yeah.
that was like
Everything
a
that comes.
huge thing on Saturday for me. Like
Yeah. That's so cool that you got to meet Hannah. I did make Electric Forest yoga one time. Once. And I think it was ruined for me after I got back. No, just kidding.
that was my fault. I was like burning water.
I asked you to do one thing.
I know, you asked me to start the pasta. And
Cook pasta. No. But it was really, really cool. She kind of did the same thing where she was like, look, like, did the yoga, and then like she was like, okay, so look at the person next to you and just like look in their eyes and like don't blink but don't say anything,
yeah.
and just like being comfortable with quietness. And I think that that's where because I used to be like really terrified of silence, if that makes sense. Like my brain would go crazy being like, okay, should I say something? Like, I don't know what to say. Do they think you know? And then I would just like spiral. And I think that was the first time where I realized like, no, like silence is okay. And like so that really ties in with her being part of this mindfulness, you know, or leading this mindfulness circle, you know, and just really like making sure that you're within your inner self, but still like outwardly being with other people too.
Yep. It's hard.
Being
Yeah.
comfortable in your silence is
Comfortable in your skin.
a
comfortable in
big-
your silence.
a big thing.
It is. It is.
Yeah. And so the person I did it with, they told me right off the bat, they're like, I'm really uncomfortable with this eye contact stuff. And I was like, same.
It is.
So
yeah.
we honestly, a lot of those times we were supposed to be looking at each other's eyes, we were closing our eyes, but there were times where like we were like holding hands and touching, and then Hannah would be like, put your hand on your partner. You know, we were already like embraced. So it was really
Yeah.
cool that we were even still able connecting in a way that was like
Different
comfortable
ways.
and like
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, it was cool.
cool.
It was cool. Yeah, and sometimes like those spiritual spaces are really hard for me. For lots of reasons.
Yeah.
But that was a really good one to be a part of, and it was very, I don't know, it all worked out. It all worked out.
That makes me really happy.
Yeah.
Some universe shit.
Yeah, so that was Saturday. Sunday.
Sunday.
Prize cards.
That was the day I did prize cart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, yep. So there is a storm about to roll in.
Storm a brewing.
A storm a brewing. And I think it was like a level red tornado warning.
I watched on Twitter what everybody was live tweeting.
Really?
Yeah.
What were they saying?
I mean, okay, it was like mixture of just like people being like, happens every year, and mixture of people being like, what is this? Oh my god, I can't believe they're sending us out of our campsites. Blah, 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 blah. And then just, I don't know, just mixtures of that.
Yeah.
You know, like, overall, like, people seem pretty, like, there wasn't like a, like, backlash about it. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How dare this storm?
how dare it. But let me tell you, it was so dusty that like the rain was welcomed.
I
like
bet.
I wasn't blowing black boogers out on the last day, which was
Yeah.
like 10 out of 10.
Ugh.
So it stormed like crazy. They evacuated the forest. And then of course it started raining while I was like walking back from the porta potties.
Ugh.
So I got stuck in it, and it wasn't too far, but I'm like booking it back to camp. People's canopies are like flying over. Like there was just what we need to do is go with a trailer and like collect all the broken canopies and send them to like a metal recycling place
Yeah.
because there's so much money in that. Like seriously, just
That's smart.
That
yeah,
is smart.
We should.
Well,
We
and how
should.
many people freaking leave behind their tents and canopies in general?
Yeah.
Whether it be a storm or not. Like, I camped with somebody one year who had the biggest freaking tent ever. Like, 20 people could go in there. And they were so hungover. I'm not going to name drop them. They were so hungover. They were just like, I'm leaving. I don't care. And everyone's like, you're just going to leave this here? And they were like, yeah, I'm just going to leave it here. Just left behind. And I'm like,
I hope someone else took it.
oh, 100%. But yeah, it would be a good idea in general to have like a trailer
Yeah.
come and collect stuff like that.
Yeah. So that was wild. And then of course, so they shut down the forest. People go back. I guess I'm already back. But then when they opened up the forest, everybody was trying to go in at the same time. So I didn't get in time for the I wanted to catch some interviews. There was a Roots and Rhythm meetup specifically for people of color. And you know, I was invited to that space, which one was just like it was an honor, honestly, to be invited. And then two, it's like, you know, I really wanted to include in part of my interview about the importance of representation, but it also felt inappropriate just to go up to people of color and be like, can you talk about representation at Electric Forest? Like,
Right, 100%.
that's not as inclusive as you think it is,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, oh, what a perfect space to go and ask if it's okay to like ask people for interviews and stuff
and
like that.
listen.
And listen
yeah.
and observe and absorb.
That's really
and just,
special.
like, but I missed it.
Well, right.
Because the rain
Yeah.
and the line, and I was so bummed. And I think I'm going to follow up with some people afterwards and see if they would like to chat with me. But I know, so I was like really bummed out about that. But I saw some photos of it. I think the people who like did go, like, you know, really loved it.
Oh, so it still went on.
It still went on,
Okay,
yeah. I just
okay.
was like stuck in this really long line.
Yeah.
And couldn't make
oh,
it in.
to get
time.
back in. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm
that
sorry
was
you missed
Sunday.
that.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, like, truly the space wasn't for me. So really, you know, my presence there wasn't missed. But it really would have been a great place to kind of like really capture like some people's views on forest that like, you know, we're not always seeing, right? Mm-hmm. So I missed that opportunity, but Kent texted me, and the marketing coordinator for AEG is a woman named Darcy. And I got to interview her.
That is freaking awesome.
She runs the social media. She runs everything that is the image that we see and perceive that is Electric Forest. And
I have chills.
it was phenomenal. And like, as someone who went to school for communication and has like dabbled in marketing, like, you know, runs our social media accounts, I'm like, I just gotta talk to another freaking queen.
Yes.
So we had a great conversation, and she really talked, because, you know, my questions were really, because, you know, it's for the Her Forest program. So I asked her a little bit about Her Forest, but I was really like asking, like, how do you make sure that the what people are seeing online is also what people are experiencing? Like, because that needs to be consistent. There can't be this like disconnect, otherwise you're selling BS.
Right.
And really, the biggest point I took away from our conversation, which will be available later on whether it's the EF Radio podcast or EF Radio, was they are so involved in the online spaces. They are monitoring them. They're watching what everybody's saying, and they're applying it to Electric Forest. And their team is Forest Fam. They're not hiring an outside team to come in and market underneath Darcy Electric Forest. They are people who go to Electric Forest, experience Electric Forest, love Electric Forest, and these are the experiences we're having. These are the experiences that we see. Like, this is how we should sell this festival.
God, that's amazing.
Wow.
I was just complimenting too, like, wow, they really kill it with their social media. Like, I think that every year, like, I sent Jenna that one video where it was like overlooking the forest, which was beautiful.
The drone shot.
They had posted it like
shot.
a night that you guys were there, and I sent it to Jenna, and I was just like, I see you.
You got it later, and I was like,
the drone. Oh God, yeah, they kill it on there.
Yeah, they do a really good job. So it was really cool to get to talk to her.
That's so
cool.
And
I was able to tell her that I'm involved in Female Ravers United, and she was so excited. And she kind of talked a little bit about making sure that Her Forest stuff gets into more of the marketing plan for Future Forest.
I love that.
And I don't know.
That's amazing.
I'm not to toot my own horn, but I don't know if that would have happened if I wouldn't have been like, hey, I'm doing a package on Her Forest. I'm involved in this subgroup of Her Forest. Like, I love this. I'm passionate about this. Like, and I got the lady's email. Like, and she wants to hear our radio show. So thank you, Darcy, for listening to this.
Oh my God. We love you, Darcy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. So
are you, just a quick question, are you going to be able to obtain any of your interviews to throw on here, or is it only Forest exclusive?
So I'm not sure. I didn't sign any contracts.
Right.
But what I think is going to happen, or what I hope happens, is I would really like, so I think Kent and Clayton are going to do like the audio editing of my content, making sure it all sounds good. What I would like to do is do like a like NPR style thing, where I kind of like how we do some of our radio shows, where we like talk and then play the interview and then talk. I have noticed that the podcast episodes are a little shorter, so maybe it'll be like a series. I don't really know, but they did record all the panels. They recorded most all the stages this year. So there's gonna be a lot more content on EF Radio. But what I would really, really hope happens is that I get the quality parts of my content back, and then I can structure a story. Because I would really love to tell the story of Female Ravers United at Electric Forest, representation at Electric Forest, the higher ups that are women at Electric Forest, the attendees, and really just string it into a whether it's in a series or like one really long podcast episode. Because I too, because I am a part of all that, I want to share my story too. And, you know, I do get to share some of my story about who I choose to talk to and stuff. Yeah. But there's, like, little tidbits I would really love to throw in. Yeah. So, I hope I have access to it.
Yeah. I can't wait to listen regardless.
Yes. And I really hope, too, that even with just me, like, asking and pushing, maybe I can, like, make sure that stuff does become available to the public so that it can, like, because I think there's a lot more people interested in this stuff than people really realize. Yeah. So...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's growing too. It's a
Yeah.
growing thing.
it is. So I'm just like, I'm so excited to like see the future of Her Forest and like, just, I don't know, the future of like all of this. And I don't know. I remember, so in 2000, it must have been 2014, that summer, it was the first summer, nope, it must have been summer 2015. Yep, summer 2015 was the first summer I went to Electric Forest after being victim to a gender-based violence. And it was the first year that they were crowdsourcing ideas for Her Forest. And you could go talk to the representative of the program at the time, give them your ideas, and they gave everybody a little bracelet just for chatting. And even though it was just like very kind of broad, like, why is this important to you? Like, you know, what would you like to see? For me, after experiencing what I experienced, it was like, this festival cares. They care about my experience. They care about making sure I feel okay in these spaces. And, you know, what I experienced before that, I had no idea the ways that was going to impact me, like, throughout my life. But just like knowing that I could return to Forest every year and then watching Her Forest grow, even though I've only partaked in like aspects of it, that's like a big reason why I keep coming back, is because I know that festival cares.
Yeah.
I don't see, you know, half naked women dancing as objects next to the DJs like you do in Miami. I don't like, you know, I don't feel like, okay, so like for example, the Dream Emporium this year was very sexually driven in some areas, but none of it was objectifying. Absolutely none of it. And it was like, in my opinion, it can only be accomplished by a woman putting together those programs and that and those experiences. So it's just like, it you know, it's so special to me to like, you know, I have that very first year get to like give my ideas. I don't remember what they were, but I'm pretty sure I just needed to cry to somebody about what I experienced. And then now, like all these years later, to get to cover Her Forest on EF radio, it's just like
full circle.
It's very full circle, and then like just the full circle.
It gives me. I've got chills this whole episode. Like, oh, so amazing. So happy and proud of you.
Thank you, and y'all, like, thanks for giving me space to like talk about it.
Yeah,
and, like, everything, because there was a lot of hesitation of even being excited for it because we weren't all doing it together. And it was nothing that y'all made me feel. It was like my own internalized, like, don't rub it in your friends' faces, don't do this, don't do that. And it was, you know, so for y'all just to be like, yes, we want to hear about this. Yes, let's do a show about it. Yes, let's all be excited. It's like, I don't know, it's just special. So.
It's because it's not you like rubbing it in our faces at all ever. Like,
it's okay for us to experience FOMO, but like we experience FOMO, but that doesn't I love to hear.
And I'm so happy.
Like, this is our radio show. Like, I mean, like, you're bringing it to EF. Like, it's an amazing moment in life.
It's everything that we stand for too. Is you know, that sense of community and that sense of feeling safe, because we've all felt unsafe, and like festivals are our safe space, and so being a part of that community of women and you know, I feel like that's just what we're all about, is empowering women and female identifying people and men too. I mean, you know, and it's not just like say like just women, it's just the whole idea of that acceptance and that like having a space to go.
It's special.
Shane said this episode is so cool. It's just Britt and Yenna interviewing Alicia.
It is.
I mean, that really kind of summed up my EF experience. On Sunday, I got to see a little bit of Opio.
Nice.
I got to see Flip Turn. Brandy Cyrus.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, and then Above and Beyond. Let me tell you, that Brandy Cyrus set was so much fun. Like, everybody...
Was it?
It was a blast.
What stage was it at?
It was at the Honeycomb, so it's like a 360 stage.
I caught us out there a couple times when I went off alone.
So cool.
Kept gravitating.
And the funny thing is majority of us left Maddie on to go see Brandy Cyrus, and it was like a crew of us that rolled up to Brandy Cyrus, and we had a good spot. And we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what it was. It was a club set. And so it was very clubby, you know, kind of like housey. And it was so cool because everybody in that group at different times was like, I feel like I'm at a house party, but the DJ's good. I feel I'm at South Padre Island for spring break, but the DJ is good. I feel like I'm at a club, but nobody's trying to grab me. You know, it was so fun.
I love that.
I love that for Brandy, by the
So
way.
good,
Like, I love
yeah.
that musical talent runs so far into that family that she was able to focus it into freaking EDM.
Everyone.
Like,
Is she the oldest?
yeah, she is. She's the
The
oldest.
oldest, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then we went to Above and Beyond afterwards, and then everybody left me at Above and Beyond except for one person to go see Rez. I know. And
No
then
We miss Funky Sundays, yeah.
I know, please, we need our Funky Sundays back.
Especially if I go next year.
Yes.
I need funky.
I was a little bummed that we didn't have a Funky Sunday, but there weren't a lot of funky DJs on the lineup.
Yeah.
Like Opio.
Yeah, like Opio. I haven't seen
Was.
Opio in a while. That's so cool.
I mean, he was like sunshiny, you know, like during
Yeah.
the day. And it was a bomb set, but like there were so few live bands that when I had the opportunity to leave and go see Flip Turn, I was like, I'm gonna go catch some like, you know, live music. I saw STS9 that weekend too, which phenomenal as always. But what was funny is like we get back to camp. I was the first one back to camp, and then some other people were there that didn't go see Brandy Cyrus. Like, oh, who'd you catch? And I was like, oh, I saw Brandy Cyrus. And they were like, you know, ha ha ha, oh, that's so funny. Like, we joked about going, and I was like, oh yeah, it was actually really good. And then another person comes back and they ask them the same thing. And they're like, I saw Brandy Cyrus. They're like, oh my gosh, y'all went to go see Brandy Cyrus? And then somebody else comes back to camp and they're like, we saw Brandy Cyrus. And they're like, wait, did you all go to Brandy Cyrus? And we were like, yeah. And it was the best set of the night.
As soon as you told me that Brandy Cyrus was playing, I was like, well, I know I would have
Yeah.
been there for that.
I think
my
we even
God,
talked about you a little bit, like,
exactly.
while we were there. This is totally a Britney thing.
Aw.
So yeah, it was a really good weekend. Prize cart was cool as always, obviously.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, and then it rained all night Sunday night, and woke up Monday at 6 a.m. to the people I was camping with's canopy breaking. And poor Dan was sleeping under the canopy in his hammock and like a stand.
Oh, no.
So they packed up camp, and we were out of the campgrounds by 8 a.m. Did not wait in a line because so many people had left the night before or like
yeah.
whatever. So that was the fastest I ever rolled out of
Nice.
those damn campgrounds. Like,
That's
Dude.
nice.
yeah,
We've sat in sat in that line for hours.
yeah. So
Last year we just went beep, 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 beep.
yeah. So it was it was a good time. It was different. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I had fun, but when I went to bed on that last night, I was like, oh, I didn't do enough. I didn't see enough. And then, when I had a full night rest in a bed with AC, and I woke up the next day, I was like, that was an amazing electric forest. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because you got to experience so many things and talk to so many people. It wasn't just about the music and the partying. It was
Yep.
about so much more.
Yep.
That was Electric Forest.
Yes, that's the most sober I've ever been in the Electric Forest. Erica even
Proud
texted
of
me
you.
afterwards and was like, I'm so proud of you. You still have a voice. And I'm like, yeah, I do. It hurt a little bit, but I was breathing in so much dust that I'd be wild if it didn't. So,
Right.
yeah, so it was a good weekend, and the crew was good. I definitely missed I don't want to call you all my day oneers because we've all kind of like come in at different times, but I kind of missed my like
Ride or dies.
My ride or dies,
Yep.
for sure. And I had some ride or dies there, but like it's truly not the same without y'all.
know.
So
And we're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends. What was your like favorite moment, like top moment of this year, 2023 Electric Forest?
getting my microphone and walking over to group camp and like just sobbing, like tears of joy, like all that hard work had paid off. That was
Yeah.
truly like the best
Good.
moment for me. And like, everybody let me cry. Like it, like seeing that, like all this hard work, and like, cause on the flip side too, like I've been kind of hard on myself. I'm not putting as much work into the bus this summer as I have summers past. That's because we're putting so much work into this radio show.
Yeah.
And getting that microphone and getting to like do EF radio showed me that I'm not doing all that in vain and putting the bus aside for no reason. Like, it's paying off.
Yeah.
So we have this next month to hustle on the bus and get it ready for Base Urban Pines, and
It'll all make sense.
yeah. So yeah, it was truly like getting that microphone that
Yeah.
really let me know it was all real. That's
I
probably
think
my
that's my
top moment.
favorite story of yours from the weekend.
Thanks. It was hard not to like, because I wanted to tell you all this in person, and it was so hard not to call
Yeah.
y'all throughout the weekend
I know.
and give you mini updates. I was like, I just want to tell them all about it at the end.
I know.
So,
I would have loved that because I was just stuck with a bunch of Swifties all weekend, which love them.
okay, please share about your.
Just really quick, they exchange candy at Taylor Swift concerts.
So I noticed that, like, I'd heard that was a thing, that people were making these friendship bracelets. They call them friendship bracelets in Swiftie culture. And I'm starting to see people do it, and I'm like, that's candy. They're making candy. So all these girls were checking into the hotel, and they looked really, really cute, and they were so excited, and they had these candies on. So it was Friday and Saturday night. Backstory, I work at a hotel downtown. That's really close to the US Bank Stadium, and we had like a whole Taylor Swift everything. It was fun. And I was also just like being nostalgic because everyone was like really happy to see someone that they really love, and I was missing Electric Forest, so it was kind of shitty, but you know, whatever. I made the most of it. So Saturday, I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring some like candy for my coworker who's going, and I just like found some old candy that like, you know, just like didn't really mean anything, just like wanted to pass it along, and I wore them there, but ended up not giving them to her. And so these girls were checking in, and so I was like, I saw their bracelets, and this girl was like, do you want one? And I was like, really? Yeah, here. And I had one to give her. So she gave me mine. And then I was like, okay, this is what we do in rave culture. And I plurred her, peace, love, unity, respect. And she was so confused, but so like, okay, that's cute.
How old was she?
Probably in her 30s.
Okay.
Probably my age, but like deaf, we wouldn't have hung out in high school, you know? But I also got to give my good friend Sawyer, he stayed at the hotel too. I got to give him and his partner some candy too, and did the whole plur thing, and it was really sweet. And then and I didn't tell you this, and then when they were going to the concert, he was like, oh, I have stickers, and I just picked one out of the pile, and it's like some hands, and it said, this is happiness.
Aww.
And it felt so good because he was one of my friends from my old work that just like tore me down, and he saw me in the worst I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Worst conditions, and so I just like took it. I like almost started crying because I was like, this is kind of perfect. Like
I'm a lot happier at this job.
I'm a lot happier. Love you. Do your thing. But yeah, so when rave kids trade candy, it's druggy culture, but when Swifties do it, it's cute.
I think it's cute when we do it too.
It is cute.
It
when we
is,
do
but like the
No.
stigma on it is ridiculous.
It is. What they made is really cute, though, honestly.
It is really
and I'm
cute.
like,
They did a good job.
I want to like make candy again, but make it rad.
You know, I saw so much people making candy at EF this year for the first time in a long time.
Really?
Like, I really feel like
It's
the
hard
candy
to-
kid
yeah.
culture is coming back.
It should come back, but modern,
Yes.
like this.
Yeah.
So
Cute
maybe the
little
Swifties
beads.
know what's up.
Cute little beads.
I did get to experience Swiftie Minneapolis because I decided to go downtown and
Oh yeah.
with Kristen. It was
It
fun.
was downpouring on Saturday
It was
night
amazing.
here, and like it was nice, but the streets were flooding, and there were girls in sequins everywhere, running through the rain.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It was cool though. Taylor Swift EF would have way rather been at EF with you
Next year, y'all.
and you.
Next year.
Next year.
Well, I think on that note, let's play out the last little bit of this mix by Spiral. If anybody listening is interested in this mix, let me know. I'll send it over. There's also a visualizer that goes with it. I would love to share this with y'all. if you're interested in booking Dan, honestly, to play at your show or your event, he is Chicago based, and I'll let him stay at my house for free. So bring him on out to Minneapolis, book him in Chicago, whatever it is. Dan, thanks for being a good neighbor at Electric Forest. And I guess that's about it. We'll see y'all next week. We're going to have the team behind Base Ribbon Pines on, and we'll be giving away tickets to Base Ribbon Pines next week. So
Exciting stuff.
So please tune in. Shout out to everybody who listened and asked questions. This was a really good time. So love y'all.
Love you guys.
Love you, bye.